Welcome, bienvenidos a
Bienvenidos.
todos.
Welcome,
My name
everybody.
is Marisa Fernández.
Soy
I'm the
Marisa
Cluster Manager
Fernández,
of EII, that is the
la
Aragonese
directora
Water
del
Cluster,
clúster
and
de
I will be
CINAE, el
the
clúster de
moderator
agua de Aragón, y
today.
seré la moderadora hoy.
This is going to be a hybrid workshop,
Esto va a
because
ser un
we are
taller híbrido
the people that we
porque
are here in the room today, but also we have a lot of people connected in that they are following the workshop by streaming. So for these many people that for other countries, that for France, for the Netherlands, from Finland, and other European countries. For this, the session is going to be also in English and Spanish, because we have a translator, that is Natalia Prio, and she is also making this translation online. And for this, I have to remind to the speaker, just not to speak too quickly, because we have this translation to the English and the Spanish. So then, just a few practical recommendations before starting. So for the streaming people, you can ask your question writing in the chat. And what I say for the speaker, just to remind the translation. And if you need here in the room for the translation, so my colleagues will give you this thing to the translation. Okay. So we start with this sixth edition of the Winning Days, that is the Water Innovation Networking Days. And then I will, for the opening, we have today Miguel Luis La Peña, that is the General Director of Planning and Economic Development of the Government of Aragon, the regional government. He is in charge of the circular economy policy of the Aragon region. And also we have Isaac Navarro, that is the president of the cluster, CINAE's president, and also is the CEO of Cantazara, that is a company dedicated to the design and production of electronic water meters. So I give the floor to them. So Mr. La Peña, when you want.
Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos a Zaragoza, welcome to Zaragoza. Thank you very much to the Aragon Water Cluster for inviting us this conference about the
invitado, gracias a CINAE por habernos invitado a esta conferencia y sobre la economía circular, y vamos a hablar de cómo optimizar el agua con Aragón. Estamos implicados en
What better while to talk about water and circular economy than at the Zaragoza Trade Fair at Esmagua, an international benchmark trade fair. Welcome to the people present and those who follow us in streaming. Aragon Circular was launched in January 2020 with the signing of an institutional declaration by the Government of Aragon and the social agents, as well as leading companies in the field of circular economy. Aligned with the principles of the United Nations in Circular Economy, the European Green Pact, the European Plan for Circular Economy, as well as the Spain Circular 2030 strategy, always from the point of view of structuring in the Aragonese territory as innovation, competitive economic, and generator of quality employment, and from an efficient point of view of resources and more resilient to the effects of climate change. Aragon Circular, designed under 10 strategic commitments, which refer to the generation of a new socio-economic model based on what aims to reduce environmental impacts, promote eco-design, reduce greenhouse gases, promote innovation, launch training, generate a back strategy for the fight against the population, promote business activities by boosting efficiency, sustainability in the production and consumption phases, educational context on responsible consumption at different levels of school. As an element of recognition, the Aragon Circular Seal has been launched as a public recognition mission of companies, local administrations, and entities in general, for their commitment to the circular economy model, the performance of good practices and actions to improve their circularity with the framework of an excellent innovation and sustainability management, which means the establishment requirements in addition to strict compliance with the legal obligations in force. The government of Aragon is committed to the circular economy and has went in recent years on different sectorial plans and strategies that intrinsically already contain the principles of the circular economy. It is now time to articulate all of them under a project that brings them together, reinforces them and enhances their synergies, creating the necessary scenario to promote new initiatives in the territory that can be promoted both from administration and from associations and companies and clusters. The Government of Aragon consolidates this commitment with the implementation of the circular strategy, aligned with the objectives of the Aragon Vision 2030, with the aim of creating the political, economic and social framework at always to transition to the innovative circular economy in Aragon, efficient in the use of the resources, generating quality employment and structuring the territory. Taking into account the strategic mission of Aragon Circular, the challenges that Aragon must face in the transition to the circular economy, the implementing principles of which in the Bureau the vision on Aragon investment in 2030 in the capacity for innovation adaptation of the Aragonese society, from co-responsibility to the great economic and social challenges from the coming years. The following strategic objectives are defined: to incentivize economic activity and employment generation in circular economy, to promote the circular economy sector as a strategic economic sector in Aragon, promote entrepreneurship in the new niches of activity derived from the circular economy, recognition and enhancement of the value of leading companies in the transition to the new economic model. Position is a strategic sector in the economy panorama in Aragon, promoting specialization in the sector. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day. Thank you very much.
No, we can't see it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. La Peña, the General Director of the Planning and the Economic Development of the Regional Government of Aragon. Thank you for the rest of the attendees. Thank you for coming here, especially all those that are coming from abroad. Thank you for coming to Zaragoza. Welcome to Zaragoza. Welcome to Spain. I would like to make a short introduction of the event of today. We are on the opening day of the SMAWA 2023, the International Water Fair in Zaragoza, that covers the entire water cycle and offers a wide range of solutions for the sector. This ecosystem has brought us a great opportunity to organize the 6th edition of the Winning Days, and the second one that takes place physically, in this case as a hybrid event. The Winning Days is an initiative resulting from the close collaboration and deep trust between the 3 water clusters in Europe: Water Alliance, France Water Team, and SINAE, our partnership in Aragon for the water efficiency. Its objective is to facilitate the networking between the water sector stakeholders to accelerate development of the new solutions that address the water-related challenges. However, here in SMAWA, we are organizing a special edition of the Winning Days, since for the first time we are joining forces with the Eurocluster in Water providing the perfect atmosphere to boost innovation and collaboration between the water sector and the industrial ecosystem. Circling Water is the Water Smart Eurocluster project funded by the European Union that is taking place between 2022 and 2025 and supports the small and medium enterprises in development and implementing the water smart solutions in agri-food and energy-intensive industries. This project is built upon the strong cooperation between 6 water clusters and 1 innovation center, working together to promote green, digital, and resilient transitions. For this purpose, Circling Water brings to the small and medium enterprises a great opportunity to foster their innovation, potential, and capacity, and at the same time that provides the agri-food and energy-intensive industries with a singular ecosystem to adopt these solutions on their water cycles and become a benchmark in efficient and water smart management. The solid connection between all the project partners is based on many years of working together, which has been materialized through this project, generating new synergies between the European water clusters that result in the establishment of a joint portfolio of services that include financial support for boosting the development of new technologies, promoting the internationalization, visibility, capacity building of the European Union small and medium enterprise, or promoting the networking between the small and medium enterprise and the industrial sector. Today, with this event, we are meeting all these objectives, since we are connecting end users with solution providers, facilitating the matchmaking and networking between all the attendees that are here in this room and also who are connected in the streaming session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you very much for the opening of this session today, that we will follow with the following sessions. We will start with some discussion about the water challenges in the agri-food and energy-intensive value chains. And then after that, we will have a pitching session where we will have some SMEs presenting their technologies and ideas for developing collaborative projects. And we will finalize with the Circling Water funding opportunities. So then, we start with the second session, and what I invite the following speakers. That is, we will have for that to talk about these water challenges. We will have Antonio Fumanal, that is the president of the Aragon Food Cluster, and Maestro Cervecero, I don't, in English, Blue Master of La Zaragozana, and also a Paola Del Chica, that she is the head of the sustainability department on the AFRI company entity. So she will. So then. I give you the floor to you. So thank you very much, Miguel Luis and Isaac, for your presentation. And then Antonio, te dejo pues el pasador.
Buenas tardes. Gracias, Marisa, gracias, Zinae, por invitarnos a... Hoy está muy ocupado con las manos y espero ocupar también vuestra cabeza. Decía que muchas gracias a Marisa.
Thank you very much, Marisa.
¿Ahora sí? Puedo hablar muy alto, pero en Finlandia no me van a escuchar. Bueno, como la presentación, ahora muy bien. ¡Ay, qué bien! Incluso mi voz pequeñita se va a escuchar muy bien. Muchas gracias. Decía que gracias Marisa, gracias Sinae por invitarnos a la industria de alimentación, a los que usan
for inviting
vuestra
us
agua
to
para
the
hacer cosas
agri-food
con ella, que nos
industry.
queremos comer.
Those
Ese es
using
nuestro
your water
trabajo,
to do
a
things
contaros
with
nuestra
it.
experiencia
This
y
is our
haré
work,
una parte
to tell
algo
us
particular sobre mi
your,
experiencia en el mundo
to
de la
tell
cerveza.
you our
Este es mi oficio,
experience, and
hacer
in
cerveza.
particular
Es muy fácil de
in the world
contar
of beer. This
y un
is my
poco más complejo
profession,
de hacer.
making beer, brewing
Un
beer.
cervecero no es más
It's
que
simple
alguien
to
que,
tell,
como
a
un
bit
panadero,
more complex to
transforma
do.
una humilde, dura, insípida e
Beer
indigesta
maker
semilla de
is
cereal
a
en algo que
person
nos
who
podemos beber
transforms
al final
an
del día en una
insipid
fiesta.
seed
Suena sencillo
into
decir,
something
suena
that we
complejo
can
de hacer.
drink
Y en el
at
camino
the end of a
utilizamos
party. It's a
muchísima
rather
agua. ¿Vale?
complex
Puedo
process,
a
and we
veces
use a
presumir de
lot
que mi
of
oficio
water.
es de
I
los
can
oficios más antiguos del mundo. No quiero entrar en
say
polémica.
that my profession is one of
Pero
the
hoy
oldest
tenemos
professions
registros
in
de
the
que hace
world.
aproximadamente 22.000 años en las zonas del
We have
creciente fértil, en la zona de
records
Turquía,
that
Irán,
tell
Egipto,
us that
ya se empezaban a cultivar cereales con algún propósito.
20,000 years
Y lo sabemos porque
ago,
conforme nos vamos acercando a la edad
cereals
de
or
hoy en día,
grains were
diferentes
already
yacimientos como
being
Jalo, Abu Ghira, Moruyero,
cultured
Telbugras,
in
aparece cada
crops
vez
in
semillas más
Mesopotamia.
grandes, semillas
And
cultivadas.
every
Lo que a
time we
veces
would
pensamos que es
find
una
bigger and
tremenda
bigger or
revolución
larger
neolítica
seeds,
es una
which
enorme,
means
larga,
cultivated
penosa, yo diría, evolución del cultivo de cereales. Porque
grains or
semilla de
seeds,
cereal dura,
grown ones.
indigesta
The
y difícil de
cereal
cocinar que os he
seed,
contado
which
antes,
is
tiene una gran
rather
ventaja, que es que nos permite guardarlo de un
rather
año para otro
tough
y eso
and rather
nos
hard,
permite alimentarnos sin un año buena
and it's
cosecha
difficult to
y un año
cook.
mala
The good
cosecha.
thing is that they
¿Y
will
qué tiene que ver la cerveza
resist
con la alimentación?
from one year to
Hombre,
another in good
no sé si
conditions.
mucho,
What does
pero con la
that have to
alimentación de
do
la
with
sociedad
food?
tiene que ver mucho.
Well, it has a lot to
Estas
do
ruinas
with
que os pongo aquí son de Gobel y Tepe, son de hace aproximadamente
the
12.000 años y son
feeding of
edificios
society
que
or
no
to
tienen
society.
ningún interés,
These
ninguna
are
funcionalidad
ruins with
doméstica.
buildings that
Son edificios
do not have
festivos.
any
La gente se
domestic
juntaba ahí
functionality.
para
They are
beber
festive
cerveza y
buildings.
pasárselo bien.
People
Y a
would
la vez
gather
construían la
there to
sociedad.
drink beer and
Cerveza,
have fun
agricultura,
and
ganadería son
build up
constructores de la
society
sociedad en
like
la que
that.
estamos viviendo hoy en día.
So
Tenemos que entender un
beer,
poquito de
bread,
ellas.
wine,
Bueno, y si hay
these
alguno
are
aquí del gobierno de
fundamental
Hacienda, también somos
foundations of
constructores
society.
del mundo de los impuestos.
And we
En las
also
tablillas de hace 3.000
construct the
años en
world of
Sumeria, la palabra que más se
taxes.
repite es esa que veis ahí
3,000
rodeada en
years
rojo, que es
ago,
cerveza.
the word that
Porque hace 3.000
you
años ya
see
pagábamos
more and more
impuestos de la cerveza.
repeatedly appearing
Bueno,
in
esta
those
es la
scriptures
historia de una
was
agricultura
beer,
que en los
because
últimos
taxes
20.000
were already
años
paid
evolucionó
for
un
the
poquito
consumption
y
and the
en los
making of
últimos
beer.
años ha dado un
So,
salto
in the
mortal de
latest
necesidad.
years, we
Una
have
industria
make an
que
incredible leap
de los
in
egipcios a
the
los
industry
romanos, a
of
mi
beer
abuelo, esa foto no
making.
es de mi abuelo, pero lo podría ser, hace 60
This
años,
photograph
usaban el arado romano como gran
dates
herramienta
back
para
to
trabajar.
60
Una
years
evolución
ago,
lenta y, como decía
where
yo,
they were
asociada
using
al mundo en
cattle
que vivían
for
rápidamente.
the
En los últimos 60
agricultural
años
world.
hemos visto cómo
In the
aparecieron
last
tractores cada vez más
60
sofisticados
years, we've
y lo que
seen
estoy viendo
more and more
es a mi
sophisticated
hijo
tractors
jugando con la
appearing.
PlayStation,
And now I
pero
see
detrás de
my
la
son
PlayStation hay un
playing
tractor
with the
que se
PlayStation,
mueve,
but
que
behind the
abona, que
PlayStation there
cosecha,
is
que
a
riega,
tractor
que planta. La agricultura, que con ella
fertilizing
la
and
industria
planting
agrícola,
seeds.
la agroindustria que está
And
detrás, en los últimos 60
therefore,
años ha
in the
evolucionado más que en
last
los últimos
60
22.000 años.
years,
¿Por qué?
industry
Porque
has
nos tiene que
evolved
dar de
more
comer
than in
a
the
una
last
población creciente.
22,000 years because it needs
Mi
to
fábrica
feed an
es un
increasing
pequeño ejemplo de esta
population.
evolución.
My
En los
manufacturing
últimos
plant,
20
which
años se ha
is
movido 3
this, the one
kilómetros.
you see here, has
No es
been
mucho, ¿verdad?
moving in the latest years
Bueno,
only
sí que es
3
mucho porque
kilometers
antes, en 1900, cuando se
as a
fundó la
radius.
fábrica, ni siquiera
But it is a
aparecía
lot
en los mapas
because
de la ciudad. Estábamos ya
in
en los
1900,
arrabales fuera de
when
la
it
ciudad.
was founded, it did
En el año
not appear in
2019
the
acabamos de montar la
city
fábrica nueva
map.
que ha supuesto
In
que
2000
cambiemos
and,
ese
sorry,
paisaje
in
originario de
2019,
1900 de la
yes,
industria,
we
donde las
just
chimeneas tenían que tener
finished
humo
our
negro como señal de
revamping
que la
of
industria estaba
our
generando
manufacturing
riqueza, estaba
plant,
generando poder, estaba generando
because
puestos de trabajo.
you have to think
Bueno, ahora yo
that
creo que mi
chimneys in the
infancia se puede
past
poner
were
en
a
riesgo de poner una
a
chimenea
sign
negra,
of
pero
wealth,
ya
in the
tenía mucha
sense that
tecnología metida
in the
dentro.
industrial
Bueno, pues en esos 3
era,
kilómetros
when
hemos
you
pasado
saw
a una industria
chimneys,
del
that
siglo
meant
XXI. ¿Vale? Una
production is
industria que es lo que el
being
mundo hoy en día nos está
done
pidiendo
here.
con
And
muchas consideraciones. Os voy a
the
contar
world
cómo
today
hemos llegado a
is
esta fábrica y
asking
cuál es
us
lo
for
que la agroindustria
to
tiene que
bear
hacer
in mind
para
many
poder seguir
things.
estando
I mean,
hoy en día.
agri-food needs to do
En
a
primer
lot of
lugar,
things
el gran
to
punto para nosotros
stay
es que las fábricas hoy en día, los sitios
updated.
donde se elaboran los
First of
alimentos,
all,
industrializan los alimentos, no son
places
fábricas
where
aisladas.
we
Son partes
industrialize
de
food
ecosistemas
are
complejos
not
que necesitan que
isolated
todas las
manufacturing
interacciones
plants. They are
funcionen
parts of complex
correctamente.
systems
Si
that
no, no
require
hay vida.
all interactions to work well.
Entre
Otherwise,
otras cosas,
it is
porque
not
nuestro
possible.
impacto medioambiental ha pasado de ser una pequeña chimera
Why?
con 4 kilos
Because
de carbono
our
a ser miles y miles de
environmental
cosas que ocurren por ahí dentro.
impact now has moved
Una
from
cosa
being
muy
just a
importante del
few
siglo XXI
tons
que ha
to thousands and
desconectado
thousands and thousands of tons.
es la
And
flexibilidad.
flexibility is
Probablemente
something that
los
marks our era.
los que me enseñaron a hacer cerveza,
When
pensaban la fábrica, pensaban
my
en la
relatives,
distribución.
my ancestors were thinking about
Lo
making
primero que nos viene a
beer,
la cabeza
they
es
were
más
thinking
flexible,
of
más flexible, más flexible.
larger
No
and
podemos
bigger
ir a grandes moldes,
manufacturing
no
plants. But
podemos ir a
today
grandes
we need
cohetes,
to
sino que
think
tenemos que ir a
about more
pequeños y muy
flexible
potentes.
manufacturing plants, even mini satellites,
Una
as
de
I call
las
them, of
grandes
the
desafíos
plants.
de este cambio
One
de
of
miles de
the
kilómetros que decíamos antes es el
largest
manejo del agua. Y lo
challenges
que
is
hacemos en
how
aguas y
to
lo que hacemos hoy en día
handle
no tiene
water.
absolutamente
If
nada
you
que ver.
compare
Yo
what
os he
we
puesto
used to
en
do in
muestras
1900
ilustradas
and
de
what
lo
we're
que
doing
supone
today, it has nothing to do.
ese
I mean,
desafío
it's
del poder
totally
compartir agua.
different. I
Toda la
want
tecnología
to
de filtración de
delve
cerveza de los
here.
últimos
All the
150 años se basaba en
beer
mezclar tierras
filtering
húmedas,
technology
tóxicos,
in the
bentonitos,
last 50
celulosas y
years
demás.
was
Cuando
based
cambiamos la
on using
fábrica,
cellulose,
tuvimos que cambiar
bentonites,
todas estas
diatomeas,
legislaciones
etc. When
tangenciales
we changed
porque
our
era la única manera que
manufacturing
nos
plant,
permitía
we had to
asegurarnos que
change
nuestra
all
depuradora
this
de agua
because
iba a
we
funcionar
had to ensure
correctamente.
the fact that
Lo que
our
tuvo que hacer
water
todo nuestro entorno. Por eso
purifying
decía que las industrias
plant
son
would
ecosistemas, no son
work
puntos aislados.
perfectly well.
Para
And this
poder
is why I
trabajar bien
say
con la
that
depuradora,
plants or
tuvimos que eliminar,
factories are
modificar,
ecosystems. They
cambiar,
cannot work
desarrollar
in an
una
isolated
modificación.
way like silos. No,
El
they are
cloro, que es el desinfectante número uno en todas nuestras
coordinated with
aguas,
many more
lo hemos
things. You know,
eliminado de su
chlorine, for example,
fabricación.
which is a
Porque si queremos
disinfectant of
garantizar
all
que la
the
recuperación de
drinking
aguas que
water, we
veremos
have
después
removed
y
it
nuestra
from
cerveza no se
our
contamina con
chain
minerales extraños
because
o
if
cloramines
we
y
want
demás,
to
tenemos
guarantee
que
that our
asegurarnos que
beer
todo
will not be
tratamiento de aguas no
contaminated
aparezca
with
el cloro ni
strange
en pintura.
flavors, we need to
Entonces, todo,
remove
por ejemplo, todo
chlorine
nuestro sistema de
absolutely
aguas
and
está basado en
totally.
ultravioletas de
All
media y baja
our
presión. Cada vez que movemos el
water
agua,
handling
el agua
system is
pasa a través
based
de
on
un tratamiento
UV,
especial.
on ultraviolet light,
Y por último, y
so
aquí
as
viene
to
lo que
clean up
probablemente el
the
futuro nos
water.
desafíe más,
And
es la
the last
automatización,
thing I would like to
robotización
mention here
y
is the
monitorización de los procesos
automation,
industriales.
robotization, and monitoring of
Cuando
all
hablo
industrial
con mis
processes.
compañeros que están en el
When
mundo
I
de la
speak
informática,
with my
les hago ver
colleagues
dos
working
cosas
in
muy
the
claras.
world of
La
computer
primera,
informatics or
digitalizar
engineering,
significa
I
fresar
mention to
y
them
rapidez.
digitalizing means
Estas dos cosas las
quickness,
necesitas en la primera parte. Y
fastness.
la otra parte,
And
cuando alguien me
the
quiere lanzar al mercado que
second thing that I wanted to mention is when
inteligencia artificial
someone wants
va a
to
llegar y nos
speak
va a
to me
desbancar,
about
yo le
AI
digo,
and
la
saying
minería
that it's going
artificial
to
no funciona.
replace humans,
No podemos tener
I'm
sistemas de minería
answering to
artificial
them,
y de
but
inteligencia artificial que
listen,
funcionen
artificial
correctamente
memory,
si no
does it
tenemos
work?
enormes
We
cantidades de
cannot
minería, y en la
have
manilla no me cabe más,
artificial
minería artificial con
intelligence
la que
if
podamos
we
tirar.
don't have
Cuando
enormous
planteamos
amounts of
una migración
artificial
de esos 3
memory.
kilómetros para
When
conseguir una
we
fábrica de
were
acero y
thinking
carbón
how
hecha en el
to
siglo XXI,
move
tuvimos que modificar nuestros
these
procesos de
3
agua, nuestros
kilometers
procesos
radius so
integradores
as
en
to
este
change
ecosistema,
our
y
manufacturing
asegurarnos de
plant,
que
we
íbamos a
had to
empezar a
ensure
aguantar la
that we
memoria
would
digital
start
para dentro de poco
keeping
dotarla
digital
de
memory
inteligencia artificial.
so that
¿Y
we
cuáles son
could
esos proyectos que van
feed
detrás de esa
artificial
inteligencia artificial tan
intelligence in the
potente?
future. And this is
El primero de
why
ellos,
we
no
are
sé si funciona,
focusing on these
es nuestra depuradora
projects.
de aguas,
The
que
first
no la
one is
concebimos
our
como
water
un mal
treatment
necesario
plant,
que va al final del
which
proceso,
is
sino como
not
una parte
conceived as a
más de lo que puede
necessary
ocurrir dentro
evil
de la
at
elaboración
the
de
end of the
cerveza.
process, but
Y esto es
one
así
more
porque nuestro
part
objetivo
within the
no es que esto
process.
depure las aguas, sino que nuestras
It
aguas,
does
sobre todo
not
las aguas que
really
forman la parte
treat
circuito-biológica,
waters or
estén
purifies
integradas en circuito
waters.
cerrado.
It
Estemos
needs,
constantemente utilizando el
it
mismo agua.
guarantees the fact
Por eso
that our
entenderéis que
waters
no
are
podemos permitir
integrated in a
desagües como el
closed
cloro.
circuit. And
Podemos
this is
permitir la
why
utilización de
you
diatomeas. Tenemos
can
que modificar todo el proceso
no, you
químico
cannot
para conseguir
find
dentro de unos
really
años
strange
que nuestra
flavors.
fábrica
We
tenga
use
agua
indeed
que no quememos,
diatomea
que es la que
algae
se va con la cerveza o con los
and
subproductos que están acompañando
also
ella.
cellulose
Este
and
es el
other
desafío
types
que
of
tenemos para
filters as in
los
the
próximos
past.
años con un plan
But
concreto.
we are using a closed
Un poco
water
más
circuit.
allá,
A bit
la
beyond
dicotomía
that,
agua-energía es algo que tampoco
the
podemos
dichotomy
olvidar,
between water
porque
and
el
energy is
agua y la
something that we
energía
cannot
en
forget
nuestro
because
mundo
water
son
and energy in
prácticamente la
our
misma cosa.
world are practically
Una
the same
manera
word.
maravillosa de
A
almacenar la energía
marvelous way
renovable
to
del sol, de
store
los molinos y de la
renewable
corriente
energy by
es conseguir
sun or
transformar agua
wind farms, etc., is to transform dirty, non-purified water into healthy and clean water to be able to work with. This is our challenge. We can work with lithium batteries and use bigger tanks or reservoirs, water reservoirs, so that the moments we have more energy, we can recover clean water. This is our challenge as beer makers or beer brewers. But sometimes we are shocked because we saw that in the United Kingdom, for example, leaks were missing. And this might be a vaccine for us to see what can happen in the food industry. We in the cluster say that this industry needs to comply with 3 characteristics. It needs to be sustainable, it needs to feed everyone and everybody, and so that it should be interconnected, so that crops can travel smoothly and at no high prices from one place to another. Secondly, for it to be sustainable, and now I hope that you will work on it so that the agri-food industry has the knowledge necessary to be able to grow. And this is only going to be affordable if we can achieve to have some competition among the operators of the food chain in a fair and adequate, appropriate way, in fair conditions. So you see that such an old industry as the beer making industry is still facing challenges. And one of the most important ones in the next years or even months is that water has to be efficient and we can feed everyone with it. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Antonio.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
Ahora le doy el paso a
Now
Paola.
I will give the floor to Paula del Chica.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear her.
Sí, ya tienes ahí. Como comentaba, Paola es...
Well, we're using the same channel for Spanish,
Sustainability.
so I'm going to shift into Spanish, I'm afraid.
Esto ya es un horror.
Don't worry, I'm gonna
Well,
do
she's
it.
the sustainability head.
Can you
Ella es la jefa de sostenibilidad.
No, no, it's there, o sea, follow.
Mi presentación está
Thank you,
aquí, vale,
Marisa,
sí.
for,
Gracias,
inviting me to
Marisa,
this
por
conference
haber
on sustainability.
invitado a AFRI a
To
esta
talk about
conferencia
it.
y a
As
mí
you know, it's been
para
my
hablar de
more
este
than 10
tema.
years
Sabes
because
que yo llevo más de 10 años trabajando en ello, así que espero que
And
haya un buen
in
debate
my
aquí.
presentation, I'm going to talk
En mi
about
presentación voy a
my
hablar
presentation.
de, bueno, mi
Paula
presentación,
del Chica, I'm head of
perdón,
sustainability in
soy
AFRI
Paula.
Solutions Spain. And before that, I was leading the Water and Sustainability Department at Cognit for 10 years. So, my presentation is a brief outlook on global water situation focused on water scarcity and how it affects our industrial clients. And just some few words about AFRI expertise on water management. So I will start talking about what has happened to water use in an intensive industry. I've chosen pulp and paper industry. First of all, we are right next to a paper. And secondly, everybody knows that pulp and paper industry is intensive consumer in energy and water. They need water for transporting fibers, dilution, refrigeration, cleaning, etc. For every process, they need a different quality water. And also, they produce during 350 days per year. This means almost every day they need availability of water in quality and quantity. And not only for using it, also to discharge water. This is very important. So let's have a look to this graph here. We have relative water in cubic meters per ton, comparing the last 30 years. So we can see that nowadays we are consuming the 50% of the consumption in the early 1990s. And during 15 years, there is a very stable period. And this is very interesting. In the last years, we can see there is a higher pressure in water consumption reduction. Why is this happening? So there are different drivers for this. First, just one. In the early years, there was a high pressure from authorities to reduce water demand and also pollution. And this is still going harder and harder. Each time we have more requirements. For sure, Antonio knows about this. Secondly, mills have realized that efficiency in energy and water is really important to decrease OPEX. And they have been mainly focusing on energy efficiency. That's why we have very stable water demand during several years. And now they are focusing on water. In the last years, we can see that climate change is doing its job, and there is more and more water scarcity, and then we have to compete for water. Industry has to compete. And also, these last years, there is more awareness about sustainability, and then we have more pressure, and there are more targets, internal and external targets, to decrease water consumption. So let's have a look about this global challenge on water availability. What is happening? I guess some of you have already seen this kind of map. This is coming from the World Resources Institute. And this is the water risk map, where we can see the water stress, which is the relation between water demand and water renewable resources. Adding to that, we have the water quality, and then we have the water stressed, the cold water stressed. And if we add some other aspects, like social, economical, regulations, etc., then we have this overall water risk. This is a general map. We can see, for example, here in Spain, we have from low risk to higher risk. But as I said before, most of industries need to produce every day, in winter, in summer, and we have to design our water cycles to be able to operate also in the hardest times. And then let's have a look what happens in summer. This is August in Spain. Many mills in the last years, they don't have water during summer because there is scarcity, there is drought, and then some of them have stopped operating. And this has not happened before. So how can industry, I don't know how to say it, how can we work to overtake this issue? Because there won't be water for everybody. They will have to compete. And I say compete because if we take a look to this pie chart that everybody knows, this is global in the world, that for water users, agriculture consumes 70%, municipal over 10%, and industrial is around 20%. Just to remind you, watershed authorities, they have to preserve ecosystems. They have to preserve ecological flow of the rivers and reservoirs. So the priority is for agriculture and municipal from one river. And then we have to compete inside the small piece of pie among industries. We have to demonstrate that the use of water that we have is the best one, because I want the water for me, for my process, and I deserve it. And we have to demonstrate it. How? We have to be really efficient with new technologies, and we have to redesign our water cycles. We have to close the loop. And closing the loop is to reuse water from one process to another one, and to recycle water from the wastewater treatment to other processes. And this is easy, actually. This is technically easy, but it has consequences. First, we will decrease water supply and discharge in quantity, which is good. But then we will increase salts and other pollutants in our circuit, which is really bad for our products. Also, we will increase the temperature of our discharge, and then we will have to refrigerate, which is really expensive to refrigerate the discharge. The rivers, in general, in the hydrological plants, we cannot increase more than 3 degrees the temperature of the river. And normally they have to be like lower than 24 degrees. So this is really important, the temperature. And maybe we won't comply the discharge regulations that we had, because we have an authorization from many, many years ago with maximum concentrations, and now we cannot comply that because we have less quantity of water and more or less the same amount of pollutants. And we will have more regulations because we are recirculating water. And this means a lot of money for industries. They have to invest a lot. And then they wonder if economically this is worth. Is it worth to continue operating in this new environment? So, summing up, we have more pressure to be sustainable. We have a lot of competition for water. This means that we need new technologies to remove the pollutants and to be cheaper. And then we need expertise and know-how on these new technologies. And we have to find in all over the world this expertise. So these are the challenges for AFRY. And just a few words about us. So AFRY is a Swedish-Finnish company. We are around 19,000 people all around the world in 15 countries, in different divisions. We belong to the process industry division. We are over 4,300 experts. And the last year, we developed around 100 of projects on water management in these countries that we can see here. And I'm going to tell you a couple of examples of our work. This is a pulp and paper mill in Central Europe. They wanted to expand, to have more production, but they were not allowed to take more water, so they needed to reduce the cubic meters per ton in more than 20%. So our work, and this is the normal approach to a company, we made a water audit, and we had to find opportunities to reduce water and also heat losses. And the results were more than 30 measures identified with 25% of reduction. We don't stop here. We help to implement the solutions and also to control the results. And another example that we are working on these days, it's a new pulp mill in a water-scarce area. We have to close the loop, because we have water in winter, but we don't have water in summer. And then we have to adapt the whole year to this scenario. And for me, the worst situation is not just that we need water to use it, is that the river doesn't give any dilution to our pollutants. So it's the quantity and quality that we have to meet here in the discharge. We have to go further than best available technologies. And what's the problem here? That the solution is not on the market. We have to talk with suppliers and new technologies and pilot plants. And then we have to trust, and they have to guarantee, and this is very important. How can we trust a new technology? And then industrial clients, they have very high risks to buy a new technology, because then they will have to work with that during 20, 30 years. And they will have to meet the regulations with this new technology. So this is a very high risk. So this is what we do, actually. We help our clients to minimize the risks, because they have to redefine their water cycle, they have to close the loop, they have to find new technologies, they have to trust them, and then they need a partner with know-how about these technologies to work with suppliers. And also, really important, we need the collaboration of authorities to support this new paradigm of water cycle. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have our colleague Saya that is following. Maybe Saya, you want to come here I don't know if you have questions in the chat, because she's following the questions in the chat. The questions. Okay. No. Y aquí tenemos preguntas aquí para los dos. ¿Alguna de los ponentes? Somebody want to ask something to our speakers? Okay, so we follow with the next session. So thank you very much to Antonio and Paola. That was very interesting, your presentation about the challenges. And with the following session, we go to have 3 pitches about ideas of some SMEs that want to develop collaborative projects. So we will start with Manuel Arce. Okay, Manuel is the co-founder of H2 Analytic. I give you this for you. And that is a spin-off of the University of Zaragoza. And Manuel is expert in water resources assessment and modeling. So the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Marisa. Hi all. Thank you, Marisa, and thank you, Sinai, for giving us the nice opportunity to explain our project. Okay, so a small group of colleagues may include founded in 2020, the pandemic year, a small company, a little company, H2I in English, sounds great. It's a spin-off of the University of Zaragoza. Perhaps, oh, no.
Al otro lado.
Okay. As I said, we are a very small group of 2 hydrologists and 3 engineers. So we can join and expert knowledge about how nature works and computing power. Specifically, how hydrological basins works. You know, rivers, aquifers, lakes, etc., and the way they interact with each other. And the engineers deal with data science, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. And what's the challenge? Our company arose, in part, as a response to a global concern, water crisis. This is a little of continuing of your exposition of the water crisis. Water crisis is a global concern that has been growing positions in the Global Risk Report during the last 10 years. Even in the last report, 2020 report, 22 report, at the top of the risk is not the climate change, not the water crisis. It's mainly the failure of the actions of climate measures. No? In fact, there are two threats to the data government in the short time. The failure of the actions climate and the extreme hydrological events, drought and floods. And we have to take into account that there is still a certain inertia of distrust of some stakeholders about water authorities. So this context could exacerbate the interterritorial water conflicts at all scales, national, regional, and local. The opportunity comes from the synergy of three technological developments. The power computing engine by artificial intelligence, the open data, and connectivity that IoT technologies allows. Open data is a very key aspect in here. Europe has a very nice data infrastructure that is our raw material. So our technological contribution for that is a digital platform that integrates data from monitoring networks that the administration of other users are implemented in the territory. Okay. The platform integrates all this data and submit the data to the cloud, where are exploited by means machine learning algorithm. So our platform can help with the resilience aspect in two ways, in two approaches. The first one is that allows us to know the current state of the water reserves. And in addition, can perform simulation of the evolution of the reserves in the coming months to go ahead of scarcity events. Okay. In short, we provide a technological contribution that is based on the best scientific knowledge and allows getting clear indicators towards two resilient objectives. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Manuel, for your presentation. Later we will see if there are questions in the chat. Then, we will have also the contact here when you get the presentation. And now I want to introduce Guy Le Courriers-Lafayette, that is co-founder of Green Citizen. So yes, I give you the floor.
Okay. Muchas gracias, Marisa. Gracias for giving me the opportunity to talk this afternoon. Thank you very much for French Water team as well, for Jan and Thelma. So my name is Guy Lecurieux-Lafayette. I'm from France, as you can imagine. I'm one of the co-founders of Green Citizen. Green Citizen is a French startup. We are green tech. We have been labelized by the French Ministry of Ecology as a green tech. We have been founded 7 years ago in Marseille, in France. We are 14 people. We are growing, but we're still small. But we have very nice projects in the water. So what do? We provide IoT, so Internet of Things solution to manage water networks, to optimize the efficiency of operation, and also to have a strong impact on the environment footprint. So generally, in our use case, we save water, we save trips, we decarbonate many of our use cases. Our customers are smart cities, so we work with a lot of cities in France. We have started also in Spain. We work with some cities abroad in Middle East and other countries. We have non-governmental organizations like United Nations, different associations, because we work a lot with refugee camps. I will show you later on. And we have environment operators like Veolia, SOR, Suez, all the big guys, with different use cases. So we start with connected sensors. So all of them are what we call 0G. It's a low power solution, meaning low maintenance on those sensors. We have also application dashboards, business dashboards that fits for specific use case. And we provide also service to help the deployment of those solutions. And that's make us a bit unique on the market in the fact that we design the sensor, we design the application, and we provide service as a full solution to our end customers. That speed up the projects, but also this is a requirement for the customer to have complete and full solutions. So we have experience is large deployment. So we have deployed, for example, in Marseille, 5,000 sensors in the rain and wastewater network, and that works pretty well. And they have moved all the operation in that usage. We have deployed many controllers in smart irrigation in Saudi Arabia, in Logroño, for example, close to here in Spain. We have deployed also smart irrigation solutions. So we are expanding, and we have an expertise on the deployment of many sensors. That's a key in this IoT market, in the capability to manage very large volume deployment. Okay, so one of the use cases we are very proud of is smart irrigation. So we have a solution that allows to monitor the soil, the plant needs in terms of water, and adjust by controlling the irrigation, the quantity of water needed for the plants in the urban area. We monitor also all the hydraulic network to detect leakage, to detect problems, maintenance problem on the network, and that allows us to bring benefit to the cities, like between 30 to 70% water saving. So this is actually real savings that you can see on the dashboard. It's continuous savings. We can also demonstrate 40% of trips saving, meaning that instead of going to the field and checking what's happening, you have full visibility of your maintenance, and you can decarbonate your maintenance. And plus, the cherry on top of the cake is the plants has the capability to refresh also the urban area. So by controlling the irrigation, we are able also to refresh the cities, which is also a problem in the cities. So that solution has been deployed in many cities in France. We are starting in Spain now. We have one first deployment in Logroño, but we are talking with most of the cities in Spain, and we hope that we will be able to deploy many more projects there as well. Oh, sorry. Another type of application is wastewater and rainwater network monitoring. So I was talking about Marseille. This is an example of Marseille where we have deployed ultrasonic sensors like that, 5,000 sensors like that in the wastewater network. And the objective here is to monitor the flood, but also all the waste that can go into the river or the sea. So by doing that in Marseille, they managed to reduce by 50% their trips. They were doing 50,000 trips in the field before. Now they are doing only 25,000. But it is efficient trips, efficient cleaning trips. While before they were going completely blindly without knowing if they have to clean or not cleaning the network. So that operation is alive. And also we are deploying also in the wastewater network. And a third branch we work with, for example, the United Nations here, where we provide solution to monitor all the water cycle for the refugee camps in Africa, in Iraq, in Bangladesh. And here we deploy not only the sensor, but also the LoRa network, the radio network, to connect the sensors with the dashboard. And in Genova, where they have the operation, they are able to monitor and see what's happening in the different camps. So that's also another activity, a growing activity we have in Green Citizen. Okay. So what we would like to provide in the context of today, which is a smart agriculture and also industrial segment having a requirement on energy and water. In that case, because we have the technology of the smart irrigation technology, we would like to move to the smart agriculture segment, which Paola showed that it's 70% of the water usage, which is a big challenge. Where the water scarcity is a problem. You talk also about trust, and I think the good thing with the IoT can give you trust because you have visibility of what's going on, traceability. So with a growing population and worldwide water scarcity issue, and the need for the population to get control about what they are eating, I think people are looking more and more for traceability and control about the foods. So what we would like to propose as a project is an IoT solution that allow you to optimize the productivity with all the sensors, the technology I've described before, but also the traceability. Traceability by looking for the quality of water, the quantity of water used, and also the productivity of the agriculture. So we have already some customers in the agriculture segment, like Agrifood, for example, where we are selling a weather station, connected weather station. But we would like to go deeper into that segment because we believe that there is a big interest. And we are looking for some partners having an agri-market, access market, in order to expand and propose our solutions. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you today. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
Okay, and now our next presentation is online. We have Miquel Sepala, that is the Managing Director of Soundsox, that is a startup in a company, SME in Finland. So, I don't know. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, good. Michael, are you there?
Yes,
Oh.
good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much for everybody, and really have a good afternoon to everybody. I'm sitting in a car in Finland and enjoying the beautiful winter day in here while I'm talking to you. It's -10 and we have about 2 feet of snow in here, so lovely day.
Okay, great. Yeah, good weather. Yeah.
My name is Michael Sapalo-Vicky, and I'm presenting the company called Sunsox.
Okay, okay.
Sunsox have a innovative product in water treatment. We can improve the quality of your water with our innovation called OxTube. And to prove that the innovative
wait a
of the
moment,
product.
Mickey, sorry, am I?
Am I going too fast?
Yeah, no.
Should I say change the slide?
No, you have to share your presentation. You know how? There in the...
Yep.
Yeah. And also we don't see your camera. I don't know if you want to...
You don't want to see it.
Now we see the presentation. It's
Okay,
great.
there we go.
Yeah,
Is
great.
good enough?
So, yes.
So, yeah.
You can continue.
Yeah, well,
thank you.
You see the picture. You will see the picture.
Yeah, we saw your picture.
Right
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And I'm presenting the company called Sunsox, and we have a kind of nice innovation, what we call the OxTube. And what we do, we are really specializing on aeration of the water. Adding air or oxygen in the water, and then improving the quality of the water by that means. And kind of for the proof that we know what we do, we have won a few beautiful certificates from the water supply technology platform from Europe, Aquatech in Holland, and etc. So I think we know a little bit what we're talking about. We're talking about here today the irrigation. That is one of the specialties that OxTube is well designed. And when we see that if and when in a drip irrigation system, we aerate the water, meaning we have about 12% of air, we can have really bigger and faster growth in any plants or actually even in animals as well. For example, fruit yield of tomato is increased by 20%. In saline soil, the increase is even bigger. Chickens, if we give them this aerated water to the chicken, they will grow about 1 day quicker, and they will weigh about half a kilo more than without having this high aerated quality of water, let's say in normal conditions. And it is really simple to address that problem by installing our system in any kind of a farm or in a drip irrigation systems. So the challenge what we're meeting today is that we have, well, you've been hearing this one already a few times. We're simply running out of water, and thus we're also running out of food because we eat the water. 70% of our water consumption goes into irrigation or growing the food. And every time you eat the one cucumber, remember you drink about 1 liter of water because cucumber is mainly water. And what we do, we increase the level of air, or in this case actually the oxygen is the key element in there, in the irrigation water by using our technology, the OxTube. And there we can get that bigger, faster yield with less water or with bigger yield with the same amount of water, thus saving and increasing the quality of the water. What we're looking for is partners in distribution, especially in Spain, because we know that you guys, which you got off maybe.
Something happened? Mikael?
And they have a partner for distribution and they are financing for quick entry onto the global market. Spain especially is one of our key elements in the process. So thank you. This was quick. And it was a great opportunity for us, although that it was kind of remote in here. But if you have any questions, so please ask.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mikael, for being connecting since from Finland, and thank you very much. I don't know, Saya, if we have questions?
Yes, we have questions.
Okay.
Please keep that microphone so I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
keep this. So, regarding the previous session, I think this is question for Paola. This is a question from Finland, from Jarmo Pippo, Flow Plus Ltd. Question is, would there be interest for the pumps energy audits in pulp and paper plants? And the reason for the question is that after changing the different flows, maybe the existing pumps are not anymore on best efficiency point.
Of course. Should I? Well, it's very, very, very quick answer. Because actually, I don't know in which year we were talking in one SMAWA about the link between energy and water. Reducing water is optimizing energy. And of course, pumps will be too big and they won't be in the best efficiency. And then we have to change, well, there are several ways of optimizing pumps. But yes, then we have to revise the energy efficiency of the plant. Of course, they will consume less.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And here is one more question for Green Citizen. Do you censor also macrobiological quality of water?
Yes, so we have many sensors. So we first started with quantity sensors like level sensors, ultrasonic piezo, and we are moving also to quality sensors like for water, like turbidity, conductivity, pH type sensors. We see more and more requirements, and also the regulation is going to be more and more strict on the quality, water quality. So definitely this is an area where we can provide solutions.
Okay. More
Okay,
questions?
thank you. No more questions in the chat, but maybe in audience.
Yeah. Any question in the audience? Okay, so we come back to the presentation because yes. Okay, so okay, this is. So we are in the last part of the session where my colleagues Stefan Bergsma I don't know if I pronounce well, so for Water Alliance, that is the DAS Water Cluster, Oriane Marshall for France Water Team, and is the France Water Cluster, and also Saya Tiltren, that you already know her from the Blue Economy Mikkeli. We are going to present you the Thinning Water funding opportunities. So then the Thinning Water Lump Sum Scheme, just only so we have the translator has to leave in 15 minutes, but so yes, no, but it's okay just for the ones that are listening in Spanish. You know that Natalia has to leave in 15 minutes, but we will keep doing in English, Spanish, whatever, in French, so doesn't matter. So Natalia, you are there. Thank you very much for your support today, and then I give the floor to Stefan. No.
Maybe press the button? Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, Marissa, first of all, thank you, of course, for having us here.
So you think why somebody from the Netherlands is all coming here to Smagua, to Zaragoza? Well, that's because we are in a beautiful project called Circ in Water. And we as Water Alliance, we are one of the partners in this project. And we, as already mentioned by Marissa, we are the cluster for the Dutch water sector. So we have around 200 members and we support them in getting more business in the Netherlands, but also mainly outside of the Netherlands. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about this project, Circ in Water, and especially the funding support scheme we have for European companies. So not only from the Netherlands, but also from Spain, France, and other European countries. Sorry. So Mr. Navarro already told a little bit about this project, but just to repeat the most important general information, this project is fully focused on, let's say, delivering water solutions in the agri-food and energy-intensive industries. And the energy-intensive industries are, in this project, the chemical industry, the pulp and paper industry, mining, and the steel industry. So if you have project ideas which solves water issues in one of those 5 industries, this project might be of interest for you, and especially the funding in the project. So this project runs until 2025. It's a European funded project, you can forget about that, but just it's good to know. And the most important thing about this project is the last bullet point, is that we have over 1 million euros which we can give out to European SMEs with great project ideas on the first bullet on that focus. And we will tell you a little bit more about, well, how that funding support scheme looks like and how you can make use of it. So again, we have partners from 5 different European countries, and we have 3 different financial support components. So we have an innovation, knowledge, and internationalization support system. What is also good to mention is that it's not a typical EU grant or another regional or national grant you're used to, because we already, as a project, we got the money, and it's a, let's say, a specific European subsidy. It's called lump sum, and what is interesting about this is that you let's say, agree on a fixed amount of budget upfront of the project. So it's not like with your normal subsidy that you afterwards you have to do a lot of financial reporting, and you have to, let's say, see what are your actual costs, what are your hours spent on the project. No, this is based on trust. So at the beginning of the project you say, okay, for 20,000 euros I will do this and this. Then you get the money, you do the project, and you report on it, and that's it. So no hard financial reporting afterwards. So especially for smaller companies, this is very interesting because there's no, well, hard reporting system. What's also good to know about our funding scheme is that we can give out maximum 60,000 euros per SME. And that's 100% finance, so you don't need co-funding for that. And as mentioned, and you see it also here, we have 3 different components. You can make use of all 3 of them, but up to 60,000 euros. This is, well, some more information about the 3 different components. You can also get this presentation, I guess, so, but also please make pictures, that's also good. And I will not dive into a lot of detail in this, but I think the most important one and the big fish is the innovation lump sum. So for that one you can get 60,000 euros per SME, so for your project. And this is really about, I will not talk a lot about it because my colleague Oriane will tell you a little bit more about the requirements and all the other stuff about it. But what you should remember, also from my presentation, you can get 60,000 euros for it for, let's say, activities in the field of piloting, testing, demonstrating, development of your product. That kind of activities. And then, of course, a link between the water and the agri-food or energy-intensive sectors. We also have another financial support component, which is called the knowledge lump sum. This you can use if you need some external expertise for your company to grow your or develop your company. So, for example, if you want to have a new marketing strategy or an export plan, or somebody who can help you with writing proposals, you can get up to 4,000 euros, 100% financed via this project. And then lastly, we have an internationalization part, where in this project we will organize some matchmaking activities with possible end users, clients in the agri-food and energy intensive industries in Canada or the USA. And we organize matchmaking events there. And if you want to go with us, you can get 2,000 euros for your, let's say, travel and accommodation cost. But this is, as you see at the bottom, this is, well, later on. Now, really the focus is on the innovation part. Because, as you see, this will open up very soon, end of March. That's it, very quickly. If you want to know more, email me, phone me, and also after this session I will be here and answer your questions.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Oriane Marchal. So I'm representing France Water Team, the French cluster, and also partner in the Circuit Water projects. So now we will zoom in the big fish, so the innovation lump sum. So basically, Stefan already introduced the main idea. The project that will be selected and funded by Circuit Water will be project developing new product services or methodologies addressing water challenges in agri-food and energy-intensive industries. The type of activities that we will be supporting are like starting from piloting up to the full deployment to the market. So it's quite interesting, it's quite open to any type of project, starting at TRL 5. Projects should last no more than 12 months, so it's short projects, quite operational. It's also interesting for SMEs. And regarding the team, it's quite open. So it means that you can submit individual projects, just like your SME, but you can also try to join forces with other SMEs, so make it collaborative at national or transnational. So as I said, it's really open and flexible depending on your needs and what you need for developing your projects. Just an indication regarding the team, extra points will be given to collaborative projects because we think that it's also important to join the forces, and we are willing to see also collaborative projects. And also a good point is that we will be encouraging projects and SMEs to already identify project collaborators. What we mean by that is like industries or research organizations that will be supporting you in the implementation of the project. So if you can show and demonstrate that you've got already the contact of the industry with whom you want to work with, and where you will be doing the demonstration, for example, that will be also an added value for the project evaluation. Then regarding the challenges, so we had already a good overview of the type of challenges that are already needed in those industries. But we've already identified some general challenges that will be listed in the call for projects. It's for now a provisional list. It might evolve in the final call for project that it will be published soon. But you can see that the key challenges are related to circular water. Of course, we've talked a lot about that today, but also contaminant of emergent concern, water energy nexus, with heat recovery issues, water quality control, water shortage, and also non-point pollution. So that's, as I said, a provisional list, and the good thing is it's still open because we will be listing some challenges, but project can also, if you can justify that your project is answering another challenge that is not listed but still relevant, it will be eligible as well. Regarding the eligibility criteria, first thing, which is the most important one, is only SME will be benefiting from Circuit Water grants. So you have to be like an SME as and check the definition of the European Union. So being below 250 employees, and there are also some figures regarding the turnover. So please check that first before applying, because it will be of course an eligibility criteria. Being established in one of the eligible countries, which are mostly European Union, but also associated countries. So please check as well the list. also something quite original is that we will be asking and selecting only organizations that are member of a cluster organizations. Not only those partner in Circuit Water, it can be cluster also outside of SINAE for Water Alliance, but still you will need to be a member of a cluster organization. And finally, Stefan also mentioned that it's really important that an SME won't be able to get more than 60K in total from Circuit Water. So it means that if you want to apply for the innovation lump sum, then you won't be able to get, for 60K, you won't be able to apply for also the 2K for the knowledge and the 4K for knowledge and 2K for internationalization. So in total, maximum 60K. And regarding the application, so the timing is just perfect because right now we are planning to open the call end of the month, and you will have 2 months to prepare your application. What we are planning to do is really to make it simple, really aligned with what an SME is doing and not making it too long, too complicated with too many questions. So the application will be short and operational so that we can really understand what you are doing and what will be the impact. That will be really important for us. And the submission will be via online platform. All the information will be published on social media. So maybe first things for you is to follow us on LinkedIn, the Circuit Water Project. And yeah, just stay tuned because it's going to be soon. And so all the information will be published online. That's it for me.
Thank you very much, Oriane. So, yes, yeah, questions? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I would like to know what are what is the process for the decision? I believe that if you have many SMEs asking for the budget, how are you going to select them? Do you have a kind of jury, or who is the composition? Who are the people involved? So that's my first question, and I have a second question. You mentioned about collaborative projects, so meaning that if we have 2 or 3 SMEs where we can propose a project, each SME can have a 60K budget, or do we have to share the budget?
Do you answer?
I'm just wondering, because as we are organizing this event before the official publication of the call, we are not supposed to provide too much information about how it's going to happen. So I'm looking at the coordinator of the project, what I can really say, but very briefly, in general, regarding the selection, we, the consortium, so the cluster organization, we will be doing actually the first round of selection. So we will have a grid with a criteria, and we will be just providing grades. And at the end, we will be doing the first round of evaluation, and we will have also an external jury that will also check the selection of projects that we are planning to fund. So that's going to be the process, basically. And for the second question, yes, if you have 3 SMEs on board, and it's a maximum, you can't be more than 3 SMEs, but if you have 3 SMEs on board, then all of them can actually get 60K.
How much money do you have for this project, for the second project in total?
For the innovation ones, 850,000 euros.
In Europe? For all the countries, for all the projects?
No, for the innovation ones. Yeah. More questions? I think we are planning maybe up to 40 SMEs, no? I think it's planned to fund it. More questions? Yes, also another thing that is important. So we are one of these Eurocluster. Yeah. So we are, because they are, for instance, in the Agrifood, there are 2 consortium that is SUAVE and Be Resilient, or in the in the energy-intensive industries is ingenious, they are going to have similar calls as thinning water. So an SME could apply for us in thinning water the 60K, but could apply for another 60K in other of the Euroclusters. So maybe there are different projects and complementary, so you can go to the other calls that they are going to be launched more or less, in the coming months, as we are going to do, because all of these are for the first promotion of Euroclusters. Okay? And you have in different sectors, you can see automotive, electronic, so they are like sectoral Eurocluster, and other ones that they are more like cross-sectoral as ours, that is water and circular economy. Okay? So we will provide also information about these other calls when they are published. Then also just to remind you that SMAWA organized this brokerage event, that they are B2B meetings, that today they was already working, and tomorrow there are more than 100 participants. So if you want, even if you are not registered, just go to the rooms that they have, and you can participate. And also that we are going to have an info day after the launch of the call, the 13th of April, with all these details that we cannot explain yet. We will offer information about the application form and also the submission platform. That's it. I don't know if we have, Saya, more questions in the chat. They are answered in the chat. Okay. So, okay, I think only 15 minutes. Now we have a coffee, so that just to keep talking about everything that you want. I really want to thank to the speakers that we have today, Antonio and Paola, and also for the pitches that we have with Manuel and Guy and Mikael, that he was there, and thank you to the consortium and all the team for the preparation of today of this workshop, and thank you very much for the attendees online. Thank you. I hope that you can follow well all the presentation, and for you, and thank you for your understanding with these languages, and especially my. Sorry, but thank you very much. And thank you to Natalia and our colleagues in the back that help us with all the technical issues. Thank you very much. Gracias.